Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. Well, let me get right into it. After watching two markedly different NFL Conference Championship games on Sunday, the league got just what it wanted in two ways. It got the matchup it wanted, which Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs had suggested not so subtly 2 weeks ago, and it got people talking about what happened on the field and now about a controversy that may or may not have happened. First, discussion concerning the way the Seahawks won, or should I say the way the Packers lost the NFC title game, will last up to and beyond the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. I'm not sure how you characterize what transpired in Seattle on Sunday, but aside from the tangible final score, it seemed 100% fictional. From the Packers opting to kick a field goal on 4th and goal from the 1-inch line in the first quarter, to a dropped interception by a guy who had already had two, to an interception by a guy who refused to return it, 15 Seattle points in a 44-second span during which the Seahawks recovered an onside kick, oh, by the way, that the Packers had in their hands, and then converted a 2-point play on a pass that you could have clocked for its hang time, all a means to an end when the Seahawks, who turned the ball over 5 times, won in overtime on a perfectly thrown pass by a quarterback who not that long ago had a passer rating of 0. Right, all of those twists and turns into a movie script, and most anyone would walk out of viewing the film saying, that's Hollywood at work again. It just makes you wonder if there was a script. All of this after the officials gave no explanation for picking up a pass interference flag 2 weeks ago back in Dallas, and following that the next week by telling us all why a catch that we could all see was a catch is not a catch based on the league's criteria for a catch. Now, after my Colts got thoroughly curb-stomped in the AFC Championship game by the Patriots, not exactly America's team despite the nickname, here comes another catch, the long-awaited sequel to Bill Belichick's Spygate. It's Deflategate. As a Colts fan, it's little solace, but how great is it to be able to say that the NFL is looking into the New England coach for use of underinflated balls, especially given that it's something I've alleged for years. And yes, now I've played the NFL's game and talked about this stuff like they want us to, but it's like a cleansing for me. I'm getting it out of my system because they've made me not care. It's not reasonable that every week there's always something we can't believe, and yet it's supposed to be real. What's great about all of this is that I can now spend more time trying to figure out who A is on Pretty Little Liars. Coming up on this show, some key basketball games from the boys and girls ranks before we're through, but indoor track and field grabs the spotlight this week. The first part of everything you ever wanted to see, hear, and know about the county championship meet when you come back.
Since 1963, you've been trusting the folks at Hagerstown Floors. It's still a family-owned and operated business featuring a variety of high-quality flooring choices for your home, like carpet, ceramic, hardwood, vinyl, and we offer floor sanding and refinishing for your existing hardwoods. And you'll find us stocked warehouse, full of flooring options for do-it-yourselfers, or take advantage of our in-house installers for expert installation. Hagerstown Floors on Virginia Avenue in Hagerstown, the trusted name in flooring since 1963.
Premier Martial Arts offers the best fitness fusion. Get Premier results with Premier Martial Arts.
Welcome back to the show. At the 24th County Indoor Track and Field Championships at HCC, 6 schools endeavored to change the course of history, while Boonesboro aimed to repeat it again. And with good reason. After all, the Warrior girls have been authoring winning chapters in the county meet record book since 2012, and the 3-time defending title holders set out to write themselves in as champions for a 4th straight time last Friday. With its 4x800 meter relay team of Emma Lang, Molly Jones, Emily Anderson, and Haley Wright running away to a resounding 40-second margin of victory, Boonesboro served notice right from the meet's very first event that if anyone were to unseat the defending champs, they would have to catch them first. And in 6 of the other 12 events, though they tried valiantly, nobody could chase the Warriors down. In fact, Boonesboro swept the relays with Anderson holding off a late kick from North Hagerstown's Michaela Fleetwood in the 4x400, And Leah Cadigan finishing off a successful venture in the 4x2 to prevail by just over a second and a half. While the seasoned Warriors could boast 4 girls with multiple wins by meet's end, perhaps it made perfect sense that the only other athlete on that short list had never competed for a county crown before. That was Williamsport freshman Jordan Morris, who showed no fear, adding the 55-meter hurdles title by 18/100ths of a second to the high jump championship she had captured earlier. One of 3 W's the Wildcats earned inside the track, including the shot put, courtesy of senior Lakia Mills, as Williamsport ran the table in the field events. As for Smithsburg senior Gabby Reason, she just ran and did it faster than anybody else to defend her county title in the 55-meter dash by 24/100ths of a second. Reason was also the reigning champ in the 300, but wasn't entered on Friday, leaving North Hagerstown sophomore Fleetwood to supplant her and emerge victorious in the tightest girls race of the day by all of 1/100th of a second. However, the team standings provided nowhere near that degree of drama. Despite just 6 points separating second through 4th places, Boonesboro put 59 points between itself and the runners-up from Smithsburg as the Warriors easily ran their streak of consecutive girls county championships to 4. Coach Becky Walters' boys were also seeking to add to their title collection. Their main competition was likely to be Smithsburg coach TJ Hood's Leopards. Coach Hood had told me the week before at the MVAL Antietam meet that while he knows his team is top-heavy with guys who can vie for championships in respective events, he hopes to find others who will step up to score complimentary points to bolster the team's overall score. Last Friday, Hood got much of what he expected, but little of what he and Smithsburg needed. As expected, one of his purple and gold stars, Nate Craig, set the tone for the Leopards by winning the initial individual event of the meet, the 300, by 1.26 seconds. It was then emerging star Micah Daniel's turn, or turns. First, the junior outran Williamsport's Michael Werder to the line in the 500 by 0.46 seconds, and then he came back even better and won convincingly, capturing the crown in the 800 by better than 3.5 ticks of the stopwatch. In between the 2 Daniel victories, the lone returning county boys champ Kyle Ebersole put his title in the line against, among others, Smithsburg teammate Will Ewing. While Ebersole had bested Ewing by 17/100ths in their prelim, it was Ewing who turned the tables in the final by 14/100ths of a second to win the 55-meter hurdles. Craig followed with his second chance at gold, this time in the 55-meter dash. And while he and South Hagerstown's DeMaurier James hit the wire simultaneously in 6.77 seconds, it was ultimately determined that Craig had gotten there a hair quicker. Only the Rebels' Darren Harmon would end up winning as many individual titles as Daniel and Craig. The South Junior equaled their 2 wins apiece by capturing the top spot in both distance races. Harmon's victories in the 16 and 3200 helped put the Rebels squarely in the mix for the team championship. And the flawless execution and quick turn of foot of South's 4x200 relay squad, anchored by Josiah Johnson, didn't hurt the cause either. It was the 3rd Rebel first place finish of the day. In addition to Justin Walters prevailing in the pole vault, Williamsport claimed a relay win too. The Wildcats won the 4x800 by nearly 3.5 seconds, making Williamsport the 3rd school with multiple W's. For North Hagerstown, they would end up savoring quality over quantity. In the most exciting relay finish of the meet, the Hub's Manny Cowens took the baton in 4th place, even started his 2nd lap of the 4x400 in 4th, but by the time he made the far turn and headed for the finish, Cowens was in front, rallying North to its lone victory, coming by just over half a second. Clearspring got in on the winning act in the high jump, with Glendon Mills receiving congratulations there. And, oh yeah, what about Boonesboro? What about the anticipated Boonesboro-Smithsburg battle? I've shown you the highlights of the Leopards' 5 wins, and having given you all the information I've given you to this point, where would you guess the Warriors finished? I'll even throw this in. They won just one event. Then why will 2 of them be here when you come back? There's only one way to find out. Stay tuned.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Well, when I left off on the setup, the question was, well, where do you think the Boonesboro boys finished, given all of those stats that I threw out? Well, in the end, they wound up finishing first, as they have so often, and a couple of them join me right now, Alec Nittinger and Tony DiGiuseppe. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
And Alec, you were the lone individual winner for Boonesboro at the county meet. You and Tony have been going back and forth all year long in the shot put.
Yeah.
What was working for you on Friday that enabled you to win the event?
Well, it starts out with hard practice. I practiced really hard up to the county meet. And then everything was just working for me in the beginning. And I popped the 47. That's not really a PR yet, but it's an indoor PR, so it's feeling pretty good, feeling good.
So you feel like you have more in you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
way more, yeah.
Well, it's pretty amazing, too. I mean, it's your third win of the season now, and you had the best indoor throw at Regions last year, but it was only good for 7th there at Regions. So with Regions coming up, how are you viewing that this year?
Practice, just keep on practicing hard, pounding away at everything. It starts with technique, and then just adrenaline. The adrenaline works for me the most, and just got to get 48, 50.
Any question in your mind that you'll qualify for states this year?
I think I'll qualify.
Yeah, I see. That's the confidence I love. And Tony, I can tell by the smile on your face, you're pretty much feeling the same thing. And as far as you and Alec kind of going back and forth this year, you now both have 3 wins, finished second at the county meet. And when it comes to the competition between you two guys, that's really what you feed off of. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, you see, we win, we come second, back and forth. So rivalry is what you're looking at. It comes mentally first. Is whoever shows up mentally is gonna be the better at the end. But in the end, it comes back to the points that we earn for the team, and that's how we get the county championship for us.
And you never had any question at all about whether or not the Boonesboro team was going to win that county championship.
Yeah. We had no question about we could win that.
Plenty of confidence going into that 17-point victory in the end for Boonesboro over Smithsburg. Now, Tony, you had PR'd with a throw of 46 feet 7 1/4 inches and winning the Dwight Scott Invitational, and that was nearly 6 feet better than any indoor throw that you had turned in a year ago.
Yeah.
What's made the difference for you this season?
We have a new coach now, and so technique has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And he's being great to us, showing us what we can do and how much we can go further on.
It's fair to say Mr. Perry's probably the best coach in Maryland. It's easy to say.
Wow, and I think the results have borne that out to this point. Alec, as far as you're concerned, again, we talked a little bit about regions coming up and looking down the road to states. How about the rest of this Boonesboro team? Because again, the lone individual victory came in the shot put. The team seems to be getting better, which is obviously what you want throughout the course of the season. Do you feel like you'll have enough guys there at states to make an impact this year?
I think so. I mean, we have everyone's working so hard in practice. I mean, the girls, they're doing great. The guys, we're just plugging away, just chugging.
Now, you guys almost make me feel like practice is fun. Now, practice isn't always a lot of fun, but certainly the results that you see that come out of practice. What are some of the things, you talk about a new coach this year, what are some of the things that you're doing differently to prepare?
Well, last year we would want to know how far we throw in practice. But if we ask him how far we've been throwing, he doesn't care about that. It's all about technique, and then worry about how far we can throw in the meet. So.
And you're a pretty good athlete. I mean, just to say that you're a shot putter. Any chance that we'll see any high jumping out of you again anytime soon?
Outdoor for the tries and dual meets, then yeah. just for the fun of it, filling spots.
Alec, do you have anything in reserve that we might see besides the shot? I guess maybe discus outdoor.
Maybe disc, but I mean last year I just did baseball, so. Yeah, maybe disc.
Yeah,
maybe 1-2 again, me and Tony.
Now, do you guys have any type of anything going between you as far as hey, who has the most wins this year? Does anybody, any type of maybe a wager between you on who's going to wind up, ahead of the other?
Maybe for states.
Yeah. Well, you guys are certainly a lot of fun to watch. I think sometimes the field events can get lost a little bit because they're inside the track and you don't have a scoreboard or a leaderboard up there. But I think anytime one of you guys steps up to throw, all heads kind of turn that way. They want to see just how far it's going. And I mentioned before the show today in my opening a little bit about the controversy about the underinflated footballs potentially in New England. How far do you think you could throw an underinflated football as if it were a shot put?
That depends, because if it's inflated, I doubt it's going to go that far.
Well, if anybody could throw it a long distance, it would be one of you guys for sure. Kind of a crazy question here at the end, but that's how we get on this show. Hey guys, thanks for being here, and certainly best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
No problem. I'm back right after this with more Boonesboro track and field athletes. Got 3 girls here with me right after this.
If there's one thing my dad taught me, when life doesn't go exactly how you plan, keep it simple. Sometimes a few curveballs are thrown your way. With one visit to Bank of Charlestown, they helped me map out a strategy to start the next chapter of my life. Even though I work with my hands, I still work with people. That's what BCT does best. They're my trusted advisor for all the details and whatever comes next.
From home improvement loans and mortgages to business lines of credit, find out what a partnership with BCT can do for you. BCT, we simplify your financial life. Now in Hagerstown.
Welcome back to the show. We continue with more indoor track and field now and more Boonesboro indoor track and field. I'm joined by Cameron Harper, Haley Wright, and Megan Grams. Welcome to the show. Of course, they are, county champions. And let me start with Megan first. Megan, you get 3 wins there at the county meet, the 800, 1600, and part of that 4x400 relay team. Your season's been limited somewhat to this point because of the injury that you had sustained. But you get 3 times the wins on Friday that you had all season long coming into that particular meet. And while the times might not necessarily jump off the page, where do you feel that you are right now?
I'm at a starting point. I have a lot that I need to work on, especially my form right now because it's a little rough. And I need a lot more distance in me because I'm in a back part right now. So I just need to build up.
Well, what's it do for you, though, to achieve and accomplish first place finishes? That has to feel pretty good.
It does feel good. I didn't know that I was going to do it. It was the first meet I actually ran more than one event this year. So I was I didn't know what to expect.
Well, I think a lot of people expect a lot out of you. So does that add any pressure to you sort of coming back from that injury and getting back into and back to where you were before?
I really want to get back to where I was, but I know I have to take baby steps so I don't get re-injured. So a lot of people look up to me. I get people on Facebook, people outside of my county, they message me saying that I'm an inspiration to them.
Wow.
So I just I really want to help them, show them that an injury doesn't end you. It can actually help you mentally and physically just become stronger.
Well, that's awesome, and I think you have been very inspirational, and I think if you look at a number of girls on the team, I think you've had sort of a trickle-down effect for sure. And Haley, I know that last year, you had sort of a breakout season, and this season, has been another excellent season for you. Again, limited a little bit just because that's been the strategy to this point. You get a couple of wins at the county meet, not only winning the 3200 for the second straight year, but you set a county record, breaking Sarah Zielinski's mark by almost 13 seconds there. What's it mean to you to not only win, but also to establish a record within an event like that?
It means a lot. Definitely being able to go out there and compete, and all the work pays off, so it feels good.
Yeah, well, I would guess that it would, and also, when you look at what you were able to do, part of that 4x800 relay team, how big is it to be a part of a team like that and to get your team, Boonesboro, off to such a great start in that meet by winning that event so convincingly?
I mean, it's great to be part of a team that has so much talent. To be able to win it for us means everything. You know, our whole team just works together, and we all have high hopes and want to go far. So.
Well, I know the bar has been raised so high at Boonesboro with the success that's come over the last, 5 to 7 years for sure, and things just seem to be getting better and better all the time. Where do you feel you are right now, having run just 6 individual events here in this winter season?
I feel like I'm off to a great start right now. Even though I haven't been able to race, many races the way I want to, it's all part of the strategy, and I feel like I'm so much stronger than I was last year.
Yeah, well, I think you want to save the best for the big meets that are still to come. There's no question about that. And then all of a sudden, Cameron Harper is sort of on the radar here as a freshman. Cameron, coming in, does it help that Boonesboro has been so successful as a team to come in and just kind of, fill a role within this team itself?
Yeah, it kind of does. Coming into Boonesboro and having just so many experienced runners wanting to help me and help me better myself at running is very good to have.
Now, you set a pair of PRs there at the county meet, including, you gave it everything you had in that 300, and to lose by 0.01 seconds coming to the wire, and then you go down after the wire. You had nothing else to give in that race.
No, I didn't expect to fall, but it was very hard those last couple of steps. I could tell I was right at the end, and I just knew if I'm this close, why not try even harder now? Yeah, well, I think the effort was tremendous, obviously, and you go out in that 4x200 meter relay team, an event that you win. You rip off a lap there of 28.3 seconds. Where does the speed come from? It seems like you just keep getting faster. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from. Hard practice, that definitely helps. And just being part of a really great team, that's definitely contributing to it as well, I think. Well, congratulations to all three of you on what you've achieved so far this season. As I said, the big ones are still to come, so best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. I will be back right after this. I've got some big basketball games from the week gone by to talk about when I return in just a moment.
For over 25 years, Tony's Pizzeria has been serving authentic Italian cuisine. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by today and enjoy one of their many house favorites, made fresh from scratch daily, in the newly expanded and remodeled dining area. Serving a full liquor bar, beer and wine, Tony's 50-person banquet room is perfect for your next celebration. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Come see what's new at Tony's Pizzeria Restaurant and Grill, 10 East Salisbury Street in Williamsport.
Welcome back to the show. In boys basketball last Friday night, as a fan, the questions were where to go and which game would live up to the hype. The answer, you couldn't go wrong going to North Hagerstown or St. James because both matchups turned out to be sensational. This is the opening 17 seconds of 9-2 South Hagerstown at 8-2 North, a true microcosm of a first quarter in which the teams averaged over 6 points per minute and combined for 49 total. Thanks to a closing 6-0 run and 14 points from Jordan Luna, the visiting Rebels emerged in front 28-21. In the second period, the scoring pace slowed and the Hubs turned the tables, spreading their points among 6 different players. Despite 5 lead changes in the quarter's final 2 minutes and 20 seconds, neither team went to halftime with the lead. After Elijah Stubbs' 3 untied things early in the third, the running Rebels ran off 5 straight points to set off a succession of 2 more lead changes and 3 ties before Glenn Tinsley's three-pointer put South on top 50-47 with 3:50 remaining in the quarter. A minute 30 later, Jeffrey Wetzel canned a 3-ball from the opposite wing, extending the Rebel run to 8 unanswered and the lead to 6. North would counter, though, scoring 5 of the period's last 9 points, punctuated by Jorge Rios' 3 in the final seconds to pull the Hubs within 57-52 after 3. While North wouldn't score again for 2 minutes and 43 seconds, South backed its stingy D with some style .0. That is until North grittily fashioned an 11-4 run to tie the game at 67 with 41 seconds left in regulation. The Hubs then had 2 chances off this wild sequence to grab the lead, but came up empty. With just 9 seconds remaining, South's James Brooks proceeded to knock down the go-ahead point from a place that became a vast wasted land for North, the foul line. While the Hubs converted only 1 of their final 6, the Rebels went 3 for 4 there, and that proved to be the difference. Luna led the South scoring attack with a game and season-high 25 points as the Rebels improved to 10-2, 6-0 in the Antietam, where they've now defeated their closest pursuers, Williamsport and North, on their respective home floors. The Hubs dipped to 8-3 overall, 4-1 in the conference, and were to host aforementioned Williamsport on Thursday. As for last Friday's other marquee showdown, it was 14-5 St. Maria Goretti without the services of second leading scorer Dante Dolman, taking on 10-4 St. James with county assist leader Justin Robinson. Because of that, Coach Matt Miller's Gales figured to be at a distinct disadvantage, but early on the long-range offense of Chandler Penn played the role of equalizer. Couple that with the versatility of sophomore Elijah Clarence, and St. Maria Goretti ran neck and neck with the Saints' big horses. And the St. James Thoroughbreds are who these guys came to see, either that or KC and the Sunshine Band. Robinson's 3 that sent the teams to halftime knotted at 32 surely elicited a chorus or two of "That's the way I like it." And they had to be at least humming a bar or two of "Keep it coming, love," when Robinson dished to Omar Hobway for this dunk nearly halfway through the third. When Robinson found Craig Lassen 3.5 minutes later, the Saints had opened a 48-42 advantage. It's a lead that then became 7 for St. James 4.5 minutes into the fourth when Hobway followed his own miss to make it 56-49. But Goretti refused to go away. Back-to-back buckets by Amika Akaya in the next 67 seconds inched Goretti within 3. Later, trailing 61-58, Akaya couldn't get this one to go, but Kevin Bell cleaned it up to trim the Gales' deficit to 1 with 28 ticks remaining. Then, following a pair of missed free throws by Robinson, the guy who had just drawn Goretti within 1 had the chance to put them up 1 or at least tie, but the sophomore failed to sink either of his foul shots, and when Clarence's desperation heave rimmed out at the buzzer, St. James had survived 61-60. Both teams had to be disappointed with their inability to make free throws late. In the final 4 minutes, Goretti hit just 5 of 13, and the Saints sank just 3 of 7. Perhaps a change of scenery will help them improve on those numbers when they meet again this Saturday at St. Maria Goretti in the IPSL Championship game. This past Tuesday, the Gales Center hosted quite the county public school, private school girls clash between 10-2 Williamsport and 14-3 Goretti. Something had to give as both teams came in riding long winning streaks. The Wildcats had strung together 9 victories in succession, while the Gales hadn't lost since December 6th. Williamsport took an early 4-point lead, but Goretti didn't stay down for long. The Gales came back to claim a 12-10 edge after 1 and spurted out to as much as an 8-point advantage in the second quarter before settling for a 24-19 lead at halftime. Goretti then opened the third on an 8-3 run that upped the margin to 10 at 32-22 with 2:42 remaining in the quarter when the Cats suddenly caught fire behind Olivia Coleman, whose half a dozen points keyed a 9-0 period-ending run that got Williamsport within 32-31 with 8 minutes to play. And when Madison Riley started the fourth with a three-pointer, the Wildcats owned their first lead since 6-4 at the 4:20 mark of the opening stanza. Eamon Mitchell made sure it was a short-lived lead, answering seconds later to tie the game at 34 before Coleman put Williamsport back in front by 2. Then, leading 36-35, a huge charge call against the Cats sent them and all of their momentum spiraling downward. On the resulting Goretti possession, Mitchell's jumper gave the Gales the upper hand for good. The junior accounted for 15 of her team's 24 points in the closeout period and was the perfect complement to Beverly Coombs' 18.8 rebound wire-to-wire performance on the night. The Gales finished their night on a 19-6 run that sealed Williamsport's fate and ended its winning streak. For Goretti, the victory parade has marched its way to 14 now, with the chance to avenge one of its 3 losses Saturday against St. John's Catholic Prep. As for Williamsport, important conference games are on deck Friday against Smithsburg and next Monday at Boonesboro, the latter of which we'll bring you next week on Channel 30. And I'll personally make sure the basketballs are fully inflated for that game. Results and highlights of all the big ones, including Friday's Grace Heritage Boys Battle, on our radar for next time. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then on the inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, Your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets.